The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
You show is ugly.
Okay, so remember that scene from The Color Purple. It is funny. It is fictional, but a scientific article, presumably based on fact, makes a similar statement that black women are uglier than women of other races, and a lot of people aren't finding anything funny about that. An evolutionary psychologist wrote the article, which appeared on the website of Psychology Today. But a scientific article, presumably based on fact, makes a similar statement that black women are uglier.
That's all I can really do is
Yeah. I have a shorter version of that, like a condensed version, combining of the socialist movement and the workers.
ugh, I got something sour tasting in my mouth after that, I feel like.
Why would somebody put an article like that up in the first place, particularly someone that calls himself a scientist? And I'll tell you why, because it's okay to talk about black women that way. And whether it's us throwing a Pepsi can at somebody and hitting them in the head, and we're angry, we're violent, we're emasculating, now we're ugly on top of it. And these are the type of things that black women are grappling with in the workplace, in relationships. Stereotypes aren't funny when they follow you everywhere, as I like to say.
Throughout history, media and society have undermined and continue to oppress black women into believing their natural appearance is less than beautiful. Beauty is a complex thing cherished by many and manifested in millions of different ways. When you type into Google Images, most beautiful women, this is what you see. When you type in most beautiful women in history, you see a similar sight. I found a few black women representing in these most beautiful countdowns in magazines and in media. If you notice, they all have one thing in common. Their hair is unnatural and altered to look white.
It took someone having to scoop me up in order for me to realize that it wasn't like I seen it on TV. It wasn't like somebody was like, hey, we're all beautiful. It's something that has to be really searched for, and I think that's very heartbreaking that it's not reflected all around us every day that we're beautiful.
You got me feeling like nothing.
Christy Clemens shares her views on beauty in the United States.
Very much a product of white supremacy and capitalism, just in that most beauty products are made to, they're just made to make money. They're not really to, enhance anybody's true sense of self or their self-worth.
Although black women in America clearly have a connection to Africa, this has not always been evident in African American women's fashion. Throughout the 20th century, the focus for black women has been to try to look white.
Products for black women included skin lighteners and hair relaxers. All products were focused on achieving white standards of beauty.
Never felt that amazing until I realized your opinion is nothing.
Please give a warm welcome to Nikki Giovanni.
I think that as we have become more media conscious, and younger women like yourself are judging yourself by what you see in the media. Whereas when I was your age, there was no media. I mean, very little with magazines. And of course, we know that all of the movie stars were white at that particular point, and the only black people you saw perhaps was Hattie McDaniel or Butterfly McQueen. But then, of course, you got, Lena Horne came. I mean, you have a lot. And so I think that probably you all are more media aware than my generation was. But
In the 1960s and 70s, black women started to let their natural beauty shine, and the afro became a symbol of black power and political rebellion. Examples of relevant and radical African American women of that time are Nina Simone, Pamela Greer, and Angela Davis. In the 1980s, we start to see a decrease in the individuality of black beauty and an increase in conforming to society's norms. However, confident and naturally black women like Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, and Indy Ari still decided to go against common standards of beauty and continue to be idols for all black women alike.
Seeing Erykah Badu for the first time made me feel like, oh snap, there are people that are like me, that have this thought process. Things that she said were things that had buzzed in my mind, and I'm like, whoa, I'm not crazy.
I asked a few women about what they think about media's portrayal of beauty.
Yeah, I'm Sharon Fodness. I teach women's studies at Minneapolis Community and Technical College. You know, usually when you see models, they're models of color, they're in leopard skins and running across the Sahara Desert or some crazy animal-like thing. Nothing's more dehumanizing than turning a woman into a thing or an animal, whether it's a beer keg in the beer frat boy ads or a leopard running across to sell some perfume. You're really explicitly and directly saying not human. And that's just exponentially increased for women of color, I think.
Media's portrayal of beauty is white, thin, blonde, not black, and maybe, no, just not black. So maybe it's they exoticize like women from South America or Russia, stuff like that, but it's not black. Or if it is black, it's African, super dark, like super dark. If you're gonna go black, you're gonna go all the way black and thin.
My name is Charles Johnson Nixon, visual art teacher here at South High School. And how do I think history has reshaped the image of black women? Throughout history, particularly in this country, the image of black women has been devastated. Black women have been made to feel less than beautiful. They've been made to feel unattractive, told that their hair is not straight enough, that their skin is not light enough, that their hips are too wide. And all this has had a great impact on black women as far as negative perception of themselves.
Dana Suttles shares her views on challenging how media wants us to conform.
Help us continue to grow and help us to really challenge the ways that maybe media as it is today or society as it is today, challenge the things that they would have us believing about ourselves as black women in our bodies.
We asked the following group of black women where is one place in particular they see black women being oppressed by their natural appearance.
In everyday life, I feel like everything that we do, we are very conscious of like how we're being looked at and judged, and I feel like that can really affect every move that we make or moves that we don't make, where we don't always feel as comfortable to speak as freely about.
This cool new thing, that this hair revolution, I think is the most beautiful trend that's happening, where black women are really owning, you know, their hair and their texture. And so I think hair is a big thing that I've seen, you know, I guess the word oppression.
Many black women have their own stories about feeling judged for their natural appearance. This has an impact on their entire lives. From a very young age, Felicia Perry remembers painful comments made by her grandmother.
I just vividly remember her talking about how ugly I was. Like, I just remember her telling my mom, like, how ugly of a child, how ugly of a baby I was.
Alicia Steele spent part of her childhood with her family in Jamaica. During puberty, she remembers feeling judged.
One of my aunties was sitting with me on the stairs and she says, "Oh girl, you got fat. You got fat, girl." So I kind of asked her about it, and it was like kind of a negative thing.
Kenna Kamara Cotman shares her experience with media's influence.
Society and the media has tried to make me feel insecure about my hair and my skin tone and my size and everything else, but I really feel very grounded and very blessed to have been raised in an environment where I never had to internalize that.
I don't know, I just don't think that personally people run around saying I'm ugly.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Elise, and I am an actress. And beauty and blackness in Hollywood, it's a very interesting topic. I've been there a long time, and I've definitely seen an evolution in the acceptance of different types of beauty. When I first got there, my look wasn't probably the typical standard of beauty that we've all become sort of accustomed to seeing in film, with my broader features, my fuller nose, my fuller lips, my big dark eyes. For me, it was important to wear my hair natural or have a character whose hair is natural so that women and girls who are of color and who have nappy, kinky, curly hair see a beautiful woman on television reflected back at them that looks like them.
Right. One piece of advice I'd give to African American women living in America is to love your natural beauty.
Like, find the thing inside of our culture that gives you strength and power.
We are the creators of this world. You know, everything here came from us, came from our womb, you know.
Be kind to yourself, love yourself, look in the mirror every single day and say, you are the shit. I am the shit. Yeah, you're right, I am the shit.
Be yourself, don't conform. You're beautiful. You don't have to perm your hair. You don't have to look like anybody but yourself because we're born beautiful.
I know that you have to know you're intelligent, and I know that you have to know you have to do your own research. You can't let somebody else tell you what you know, and you can't let anybody tell you what you look like, and you certainly can't let anybody tell you what you should be doing.
We need to be supportive of each other as sisters and as a larger community.
And that's the place to start. When we embrace it within ourselves, it will become reflected in the other standard of beauty.
All right, so.
The day's gonna come when I won't march no more, but while my sister ain't equal.
I see your eyebrows on fleek. I'm in the natural looks, you don't need that weave. Beating up your face with some makeup to the point where you don't look the same and really ain't need none. All these girls trying to get their Beyonce on, while the nip and tuck business building up so strong. They say that sex sells, so girl, take it off. Your sex appeal don't have to be what's underneath your bra. Go and let that fro grow out. Soul power is beauty and simplicity, baby, just like a flower. So forget about the world and the image they paint, cause they don't know the average girl, they just know what she ain't.
Remain trapped in a cage. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.